Hi there, this is Carrie from Stamp with CT, and I'm joined this morning by Dale and Oliver the Crafty Pup. We're in the craft room and want to spend a few minutes with you today. So it is Wednesday, and it is the 30th of August. I think I'm going to adjust the camera just a tiny bit, so hold on. So if you are watching this part of the video, you're catching the replay. Glad to have you here. We'll wait just a second to see if Facebook will send out some notifications and have some friends jump on live with us. If you do pop in, I hope you'll say hello. We are excited to be here with you today, and we have a fun fold card for you today. And apparently I have a frog in my throat. So good morning and happy Wednesday. I'll just wait just a minute, because I know Facebook will come through for me, send out some notifications. In the meantime, we'll talk just a little bit about the fold that we're creating today. We had a stamp camp this past weekend and had several friends here creating. What time? It started at 9 and we worked until a little after 2 to create some awesome projects. Had a lot of fun. A lot of work though, huh? A lot of die cutting. It was really fun. So with Stamp Camp, we don't do quite as much of the prep as we do for our regular classes and events. So the people that participate get to use the products, get to use the dies. We inked an embossing folder. We just had a really good time, but a busy day. And we made a fun fold called a matchbook card, which is what we're going to create today. So I've got the sample from the Let's Go Fishing Stamp Camp right here, a masculine card. And you have probably seen this fold before. I know when I first started paper crafting, I made a card like this. So it just flips up, and you've got room to write, but when this piece folds down, it tucks under that front piece. And I'll bring this up so you can see we've got a little added touch with a torn edge there that we inked just a tiny bit with a sponge dauber with some ink. That's the pecan pie ink. And so this was just a really fun card to make. I don't know, I'm going to date myself, you guys, but if you remember, matchbooks used to be super, super popular. And a lot of times you got them in gas stations, didn't you?
Yeah, in restaurants.
Restaurants, bars, gas stations. And so a lot of people collected them. I remember a friend of mine that had, it was almost like a shadow box, and she had all of her matchbooks inside. So this is stapled here, and then the twine brought around. So we'll show you a couple little tips on creating a matchbook card, and we're making 2 with you today. So the first one is going to feature the inked and tiled stamp set. We're just using one of the images and a sentiment, but this has got really nice sentiments inside. Pretty versatile stamp set for either masculine or feminine cards. And we're going to pull in the, I can't think of the name right quick, the inked Botanicals, thank you, designer series paper. So we're just going to be using a couple of the patterns, but I thought I would remind you we haven't used this in a while, just how beautiful this paper is. So many colors, just really nice and bright and fun, especially for summertime crafting, right?
Right.
So really, really pretty paper. And I've actually used up so much of mine that I don't have a big assortment to choose from, but I found a pretty pattern. Gonna pull in our 2, and I think that's 3/8 inch circle punch, and some other pieces here. Now we've done a little bit of work ahead of time. We've gone ahead and scored our card base, but I'll tell you what those measurements are. We're going to use a piece of cardstock, and this is Lost Lagoon, and it is cut at 11 by 4 1/4, and then we scored it at 1 inch and 6 1/4. And we're just going to burnish on the score line to create our matchbook. Get that lined up good. And I can kind of tell that this side has a little bit of a, I don't know, those fibers are standing up just a bit from cutting it, so I'm just going to run my bone folder down that side too. Now, it's going to just pop underneath there, and that makes our matchbook super, super easy fun fold. Now, I think initially we want to go ahead and put our inside panel. That's typically what I do first thing, and that's what we're going to do this time. So just a piece of basic white cardstock for the inside, and you do want to add this before you staple so that it goes through both layers, right?
Right.
If you don't, then it's not the end of the world. You can just cut that white layer down just a tiny bit. Get my glue going and get it. It's not working. Let me grab a different one. Let me have my cardstock, please. And bring my glue holder in. There we go. And we'll get this together. Now, as we get started, I wanted to give a shout out to some friends that live in Florida. We were just a tiny bit late, I think, jumping on here live because we were trying to look at news reports and see how Karen and Trish are doing down in Florida with this hurricane situation. And it looks like it missed them. The biggest portion should have missed them, but we also want to think about other people that are in this bad weather because there's a lot going on right now, isn't there, Dee?
Yes, there are.
Okay, now we're ready to staple. So Stampin' Up! Does not have a stapler right now in the catalog, but I have this Tim Holtz tiny attacher that Dale got me several years ago. Love this little thing. But you could use any stapler. And I like to flip it over to where the flat part of the staple is on the back. Here you can see where I stapled a little bit lower so my twine doesn't cover that. So I want to make sure that that's not the rough edge on the back. And again, if you don't do that, not the end of the world, right? And we don't want to come in too far. But we want to make sure we get that edge. Yep, I came in too far, guys. That's okay. We can take this out. Let me work on that for just a second. I have a staple puller at work. I don't have one here at home. So you know what the next best thing is? Fingernail.
Not your fingernails.
My daughter used to say, fingernails are not tools and teeth are not tools. But we use them as tools, don't we? So let me come down a little bit. Staple it a little bit lower. So live and learn from me, okay? Don't bring that too far up. And I'm going to be able to hide most of my sin there. I'm going to bone folder that little section so it lays those fibers back down, and it's not very detectable. But we're going to be covering this part, so we're okay. All right, so now let's decorate the outside of the card. Got a little couple scraps of things and all kinds of stuff over here going on. We're going to bring in a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. And this is really a rectangle. It's not squared up because the measurements are a little bit different. We've got 4 1/4 by 4. And you'll notice I leave a little extra gap down here, and that's okay. And then we've got this really pretty piece of Designer Series paper that's 4 by 3 3/4. So this does mat up on our Calypso Coral. Just pulling those colors from the Designer Series paper. It's what makes it so easy using Stampin' Up! Product, right?
I enjoy that.
We don't have to think about all of that. We can just use the matching ribbons and embellishments and inks, cardstock, and everything just comes together so quickly. So we're going to justify this up to the top and on the sides. And like I said, there will be a little bit of extra room down there in the bottom, and I'm okay with that. It's going to be hidden most of the time. Look at me using dot, dot, not a lot.
Very good. Mary taught you well.
She did. So we'll get this lined up here. Probably bring it up just a tiny bit. Okay, isn't that paper just beautiful? Now you need to move that over just a little bit to the left there. I think I shifted it with my finger. You know, that is one of the good things. Of course, now I'm getting glue on my finger. That's one of the good things about our liquid glue is we are able to kind of adjust and give a little wiggle room. We've got time to work on that. Now I've got it too far the other way. Okay, so there's our front. And then I've got a really cute piece of this designer series paper that has the Lost Lagoon. And this time I'm just using a piece that fits this perfectly, 4 1/4 by 1 inch. Not gonna worry about tearing the edges. So that's one of the nice things about this fold is I think when we get done with all 3 cards, you'll see the versatility of the fold. Because this one's gonna be just a little bit prettier and fancier than our fishing card. I've just got that down across that bottom piece. All right. So let us know if you're experiencing any bad weather or anything. Hope not. Now I've got a little scrap here, and I've got a circle that we die cut from, of course, Stylish Shapes, right? And we're going to grab our Calypso Coral ink, because again, pulling from the colors in the designer series paper. And I have got a couple of the stamps, this little floral image that we're going to ink up. I'm going to stamp it off on my scrap and then stamp it on my circle. So that's 2nd generation stamping. Let me bring this up where you can see it. It's just very subtle in the background, and that's exactly what I want. Because then I'm going to grab my black ink pad. Where did we put that? And my happy birthday stamp. And we're going to overlap the happy birthday just a tiny bit on this floral image. But with that nice crisp black, it shows through really well, and you just have that floral image in the background. Now we'll take our punch and this little scrap of Lost Lagoon, and we'll punch out a little mat for our circle. So I wanted to show you this right quick. Let me go ahead and tuck this under. I'll show you this right quick. This looks really nice on the card, but look at what a difference it makes to mat that and then put that on. It just really makes that sentiment stand out. It doesn't get lost in the designer series paper, so that's why we're doing that. And we'll go ahead and glue this on to our circle. So I hope that Karen and Trish are able to watch today and just let them know we've been thinking about them, kind of keeping an eye on things. And anybody else that's experiencing some bad weather, stay safe, you guys. Some crazy weather, isn't it? And of course, we will pop this up with some dimensionals. And then I think, Dale, that I pulled out some some type of gems. I'll have to look and see what I found. I think we'll put this, maybe we'll put this up towards the top. Our happy birthday.
With these sparkle gems?
Yes, yes. And those are called, I think they're called the tinsel.
No. Adhesive back sparkle gems.
Adhesive back sparkle gems, thank you. So we're going to pull in a couple of those. They have some silver and gold. There's some in the colors as well, but really pretty. And hang with me because we've got one more card to make. We're going to come around with this ribbon. And again, I'll be able to hide my sins a little bit more, right?
That ribbon covers a pretty good bit of that bottom area.
Mm-hmm. Where I stapled and had to take it back out.
Nobody will ever know.
No one will ever know. So stop and think when you're crafting and you do make a mistake. Don't just toss everything and start over. So many times we are able to salvage. It may go a different direction from our original thought, but we can still salvage those products. You know, we invest a lot in our craft supplies, so really utilize them. And don't, oops, don't throw your ribbon across the table, huh? That ribbon's trying to escape. Alrighty. I think what I'll do is probably come in with a glue dot in just a little bit to secure that down. But look how cute that is, you guys. And we'll grab a couple of those gold gems and sprinkle them on. They're just so pretty. Just a really sweet birthday card. And although it's a fun fold, it's super simple to create. I just love that. That turned out pretty, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Okay, now let's go for the fun factor, okay? This time, we are bringing in the Zany Zoo stamp set. Super, super cute. If you love to color, those line images are lots and lots of fun. These little critters are very talented. They have all kinds of skills that they do. And then the Zoo Crew Designer Series paper is absolutely adorable. And remember, it has those cute black and white patterns on the B side. So very versatile paper for you too. And then let me show you this die set. Let me take this out of the packaging. This is called Beautiful Balloons. And inside this set is a piece that makes fringe. So you can actually run through, what, about an inch wide or wider?
Well,
You want to go at least an inch?
no, it's it cuts about a little over 3/4 of an inch, and
So our paper needs to be at least an inch?
yes.
Okay, so you can cut fringe with this. This is just a fun die, and it's kind of an added die in this set. So don't overlook dies like this. This is a really fun set we've used before, but we're just bringing it in for the fringe. So a lot of the same supplies as we had before. We do have our card base. This time we're using basic black cardstock. And let me burnish those score lines again. And again, it's scored at 1 inch and 6 1/4. And this time, I won't staple so high. And we've got our inside panel. Now, I'm not sure if I told you this before, but your inside panel on this card is just a tiny bit smaller than what we usually do. It's 5 inches by 4. Did I mention that earlier?
I don't recall that.
Okay, we'll put this inside panel. Now, could you stamp on it? Could you add some DSP and decorate up the inside? Of course you can, but we're just not this time. So we'll come in with our stapler, and I'm going to make sure I don't go too far up. And we'll staple. Let's double check myself. Perfect. We learn from our mistakes, right? Sometimes.
Sometimes.
You hesitated before you answered.
Hesitated too long. Is that what you're saying?
A little bit. Just a little bit, buddy. Okay, so here's our pieces of fringe that we cut with that die. And by we, of course, y'all know I mean Dale, right? So I've got one piece that we just used to scrap, and it's actually scored in the middle there, but it's not going to matter because it's going to be covered up. And then we've got one piece that we trimmed just a little bit closer, so we're going to have 2 layers of grass. That's where we're going to use it for this time. Now we have this piece of Designer Series paper. Whoop, let me get it right side up. And this comes from the Zoo Crew Designer Series paper. And what caught my eye was this cute little guy chasing butterflies. So that was the image that I really, really wanted to capture. And did I lose my trees? No, I didn't. So I think what we're going to do, because positioning is going to be important on this one, we're going to want to make sure that that little guy is down close to the grass, so it looks like he's running through the grass. So let's put the grass on first. I'm going to take this piece with the bigger border, and we're going to put it down on the bottom. So I think what I'll do is actually put my liquid glue on this little flap. Oops. I sure did. Get that grass adhered. Again, we're covering up the staple. Let's use a little bit more glue down here. And get that out of the way. Lining that up at the bottom. And we'll just trim off the excess. Not a big deal. Now we're going to come in with the second layer of grass. Just put a little bead of glue down here. And we'll line this one up. And then we'll be able to kind of fluff that grass up in just a minute. Making sure it's down to the bottom of the card. That's covering up my staple. And we'll be able just to trim that off. Let me find my snips. Okay. How cute is that, y'all? And I'm hoping that I'll be able to, it'll still be okay. I did get some glue on that card base, but I think it's going to be okay. And we're just going to work on that fringe a little bit, get some dimension to it. Alrighty. Now I think I'm just going to be able to justify this up at the top, get some even borders on the top and the side. And it's going to work out okay. If I have a little bit of extra adhesive, we talked about this last week. It's a common theme with me, using too much glue, so we're just going to use our powder tool once it dries to get some of that stickiness off. This glue does dry clear, but it is just a little bit tacky, so we talked about that last week. Don't freak out, right?
Right. And it's covered up by the DSP.
Okay, then we've got a little circle that we will stamp on. And just for an added little touch, went ahead and they'll fussy cut these trees for us that we're going to pop up over the images of the other trees. So just to give a little bit more dimension to it. So let me see if I can't grab a piece of the bones for that. Maybe another little piece. Get the backings off. Get the backing out of the camera view. That just gives a little bit of a 3D effect there. Just something a little bit fun. Okay, now I should have a stamp, and I think we want to use the black ink again. And this little stamp says, "You are too wonderful." We'll ink it up. Down a little bit too low on that, and I only cut myself one, so anyway, we'll use it for right now, and then I'll fix that once we're done with the video. I'll just put that on loosely and I can fix it in a little bit. Just wanted to put it up here to kind of camouflage that little guy that I don't really want on the card, but he's part of the designer series paper. And then I think to finish it up, we're going to bring in the black and white gingham ribbon. And remember, you can use a dimensional on the end of your ribbon to keep it under control. And I'm going to see if this is going to work. I'm not sure if this is really what I want to do, but we're going to give it a try. Thought that might be fun across the bottom of the card. I just don't know if that's going to impede things with my grass. I don't think so. Again, we'll just tie a quick little knot, and I can adjust that and then add a glue dot under it if I need to in a minute. Oops. Let's try that again. I just thought that brought a little bit more cuteness. Always need the cuteness factor, right? Trim that a little closer. Okay, and once I get my actual sentiment piece on, I'm going to go ahead and pop on a classic matte dot. So that's our 3 matchbook cards, the 2 we made today, and then the one from our stamp camp. Hope this inspires you to create. It's a really fun fold, quick and easy, but can create super cute projects with it. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some reminders. And I think I have a piece of happy mail to share with you today. We've sent out catalogs, so if you are one of our regular customers, you've made a purchase in the past 6 months, you've got a catalog that should be arriving anytime now if you haven't already received it. We can't show the inside of this amazing mini catalog yet, but trust us, it's gorgeous. Lots of gorgeous products. So if you don't have a demonstrator that you work with, that you shop with, be sure to reach out. I'll be happy to send you a catalog. We have several still here in stock. We'd love to send one out to you. Just give me a message. And then don't forget that we just have today and tomorrow of our kit sale. So up to 30% off on the kits collection from Stampin' Up. And then you also only have a couple more days to redeem those bonus days coupons that you earned in July. So you know, if you received an email from Stampin' Up with a coupon code worth $5 off, be sure that you use those by tomorrow, because if you don't, you're going to lose them, and we don't want that to happen. All right, we've got a piece of Happy Mail to share with you. This came from my sweet friend Lisa Tweedle. This is a pocket card, and it is absolutely adorable, y'all. Really, really cute. And then she wrote her message, even embellished the little inside card. Isn't this fun? With the cute daisy on it. So thank you, Lisa. We were very happy to get this Happy Mail. Love it. And then we had a prize for last week for those that commented, that liked or shared the video. And by random drawing, the winner is Cheryl Rich. So congratulations, Cheryl. We're going to put this aside for you because I bet we'll be seeing you in the next couple of days. So congratulations. Thank you for leaving the comments and for being so kind to watch each week. We appreciate that. And then I have a package of these really cute dots that are going to be our prize for today. So be sure to leave a comment, like the video, send us up a heart, especially if you like the projects that we shared today. That encourages us, and it lets Facebook and YouTube know that others need to see the video. So they share it more frequently, the more engagement that happens, and we appreciate that. So we will have a winner of that next week when we see you at 10 a.m. and it will be September when we see you next time. All right, y'all take care, stay crafty, stay safe in this weather, and we'll see you next week.